Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Battlefield 6 because this has sort of just had its fan base very much turn against it, and I don't think anybody really saw this coming because right now a lot of people are cheering on Battlefield 6 to finally be the Call of Duty killer. I don't think it's deniable at all that Call of Duty, in a lot of ways, especially over the course of the last 10 years, has gotten worse, lazier, more busted, more poorly balanced. Just in a lot of ways, Call of Duty, despite the fact that it's always the top-selling game every single year, you can tell that the cracks in that fan base is about to show. But a lot of people are excited because Battlefield 6 seems to be what Call of Duty originally used to pretend to be, an actual strategic, grounded, realistic shooter. Well, last weekend was the first beta, the closed beta, and instantly it ended up being one of the biggest betas ever in existence, having over 500,000 concurrent players just on Steam, not counting the massive fan base on PlayStation. But this week, they just started beta weekend 2 with more maps, more modes, more stuff that feels like it's supposed to be a polished representation of a game that is about to come out, but everybody seems to be hating it. Last night I was actually playing a lot of Battlefield 6 with my real life friends who I play a lot of Battlefield with, and a lot of them were kind of just saying, why did they mess this up so bad? But let me break it down, because I actually have a whole list of complaints we're going to go through from a bunch of different fans. Let's begin. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I do want to be clear, this is a beta. They're very clearly listening to feedback. I'm not going to pretend that the busted stuff now probably isn't as busted as it's going to be at launch, but part of the reason I'm making this is because they do need to fix this. Some of the stuff in this beta is so strangely unbalanced, they're already rolling out a lot of hot fixes, specifically with a lot of stuff with Rush and Breakthrough. One of the things that makes, honestly, Battlefield so fun, and in my opinion, the most addictive aspect to it, is the very, very large scale of it. Hundreds of players blowing each other up with tanks and jets and sniper rifles. And that's what makes it so incredibly fun. But this version of it feels like they tried to scale it down for some reason, which very much misses the point of it. Now, obviously, this beta is having a lot of stuff just on a technical problem. A lot of people are complaining about lag. I've noticed a lot of lag this weekend already as well. But here's the thing. This sort of sums up some of the sentiment. Battlefield 6 Open Beta Week 1, perfect. Battlefield Open Week 2, less so. Rush mode has been butchered. Just a very not fun experience, needs a lot of work. Not sure what DICE was even thinking. A lot of people are like, bro, the servers also felt smoother. The beta 2, not going so good. But this is the predominant complaint a lot of people have. And I honestly think it's what's hurting the gameplay the most. This beta is filled with so many teeny tiny maps. And I'll be honest, seeing these little pictures of, hey, we're going to have 9 total maps. Now that we've played 5 of the 9 maps, and they're all so incredibly tiny, I've played Manhattan Bridge. I've played, which ones are in the beta? It's New Subric City, Siege of Cairo. A lot of these maps that we've seen now are fun. They're beautiful. They're great to snipe it and stuff, but they're definitely tiny. Even this big map for the bigger modes, like Breakthrough and stuff, they feel incredibly tiny. Now they're trying to say, oh, we promise there will be a lot of bigger maps at launch. We have lots of variety and packages for modes and maps. I'll be honest, I don't really believe it. And this is the problem with that. I'm going to mute this so you can see though. So I don't want you to hear like the explosions and stuff here, but this is what Rush looked like in Battlefield 3. Now, I'll admit, I've played a lot of Battlefield 3, 4, 2042, and Hardline, but I was never super good at anything except for like Battlefield Hardline and Battlefield 2042, which admittedly are kind of the more busted battlefields. But this is what Rush used to be. And to me, this was what was fun about it. It was a mad dash, psychopathic, drown them in your blood kind of freaking battles, right? It was a brutal skirmish, just literally cramming people in here to try and get every single hard-fought inch. Whereas now, if you've been playing it, because the maps are so tiny, you don't have this style of stuff. You're constantly, instantly respawning pretty much on the objective. And it does, in a lot of ways, break Rush. Rush is one of the modes that is the most unique to Battlefield, and playing it only as a 12v12, just in general, it is so scaled down. I don't know why they still call it Rush, to be honest. I mean, I literally was playing it this morning, right before recording this video. I've replayed today, and it's just so teeny tiny. What should Battlefield 6 Rush mode have looked like if it don't like the current beta version? I don't know. Maybe it should look like this. I can't disagree with that. I think Battlefield 6 is fun in spite of its maps, in spite of them all being super small, tight, and core focused. I have a lot of issues with Battlefield 6, but it's all fixable, and the good news is that the game is fun. Now, obviously, the Ackman here has been talking a lot about the state of shooters and stuff on his channel. He did a very good viral video earlier this year about Doom: The Dark Ages that I actually think really kind of spells out the importance of fun action in a game, right? And I think he is correct here, that the true gunplay at the core of Battlefield 6, perfect. Literally, no notes. I love the shooting. I love the sniping. I love the loadouts. I love how the game works. I just think that, in general, having all these corridors in maps that feel so restricted, it almost feels like there's this term in MMORPGs. I play a lot of MMORPGs in my free time, and there's this term people use a lot, optimization until the fun is gone, which is that game developers are afraid of rough edges. Oh, this is unbalanced. Oh, this doesn't quite work. And so because of it, they balance and balance and balance until you have this very boring, homogenized blob. I almost feel like the maps feel like that in Battlefield 6. Now, here is a very interesting one that a lot of people have been debating. This guy works at Insomniac. This guy actually does a lot of great stuff. He worked on Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man. He's working on Wolverine and stuff like that. And he's been talking about definitely the biggest debate, which is closed weapons versus open weapons, which is that right now, and I do think this feels extremely strange. Personally, I think it feels fun that you can build your own loadout. But right now you can go in there and make any class have any gun. Anybody. A medic can have shotguns. You can have a sniper rifle on your soldier. Everybody. The main thing is the special bonuses they get. Medics can revive better. If you're aiming down sights with the recon, which is like the sniper class, it automatically marks them on everybody's map and stuff like that. But you can just build your own loadout, which in a lot of ways completely destroys the point of the class system. And I agree with the fact that it goes back to that sort of smoothing off all the round edges, and now you have this blob, right? Battlefield 6 should keep closed weapons as default. This basically means locking in how classes play. The entire point of class is about specialization and identity. Lean, tailored, and focused on all fronts, including weapons. The pie in the sky, pick and choose your way, just sounds like Battlefield Portal. Now, Battlefield Portal is basically like a custom maps, custom modes. Think of it as like a Halo's Forge mode. This isn't a knock against creative, but it really sounds like someone is vying hard for this over there. I think you can have both and make a cleaner break by providing open as an option in Portal. That just belongs there in theory, and in practice, keep open weapons to Portal, closed weapons by default in matchmaking. Get the best of both worlds. The current split just feels incredibly muddy and creatively indecisive. And I have to agree that it does feel like open weapons, as much as I like being able to completely build my class, I do think it makes stuff feel a bit funky. Like, classes basically don't do anything. If everybody's just shooting each other, you might as well all play medics, because at that point, then at least then you get the ability to revive quicker, right? Fun fact, custom search exclusively has open weapons. It is impossible to search for closed weapon lobbies if you want a certain map or mode combo. So of course, their data is going to show that people are only playing with the open playlist. Now, this was a super viral thing I saw a lot of people debating, which is the fact that the only way to play closed weapon maps is a button that's off screen on the main menu after custom search. This is an insane design decision. I love the way they phrased that. Waiting for the inevitable dev blog post that says, based on player data, open weapons were the most played. This is a very strange debate, because I do feel like in a lot of ways, I think that Aaron here nailed it, which is that it should be one of those things that you can do easier. But personally, I think closed weapons is the way to go. Maybe some amount of customization, but it is a bit weird that anybody can use anything at any time. It just doesn't quite feel balanced, or it just doesn't really feel tight in a lot of ways. I do like this. Somebody replied to it and said, a game can be fantastic with major flaws, and a bad game can have some great ideas. That's the thing, is that nobody's saying this game is bad. It's just the fact that, honestly, there's certain issues with it that just don't make sense. This is another thing. A lot of people are complaining about how bad the map is. People are basically already making fan remakes of the map, because the HUD, how you pick game types, how you do stuff is very, very, very unintuitive. And honestly, it just looks bad. This looks a trillion times better. I agree. This mock-up, I haven't liked it. Let me like that. That's fantastic. I wanted to end with this. I saw a lot of people talk about the fact that just in general, as fun as this beta is, it has so many tiny problems. Honestly, it's very bloodless. Maps are too tiny. A lot of people have been complaining about the fact that, honestly, the movement speed feels off. Like, in a lot of ways, let me make sure this is... A lot of people have been talking about the fact that the movement speed feels very, very strange. The fact that you can run so fast on maps so tiny... it does seem a bit strange. A lot of people are being like, bro, there's just a lot of stuff in here. The fact that you can slide on, you can slide across broken concrete in a war zone. The movement speed is something that definitely seems like it needs some work. I'm definitely in the field where I'm having fun with the beta. I'm still having fun with the beta. I want to try and max out as many guns as I can, even though I don't think you even get a reward for it. I think the hype for Battlefield 6 feels very, very warranted, but I think my concern is that it's a little bit under 2 months from launch. My concern is the fact that, honestly, I think these tiny maps are all we're going to get. I think even their biggest maps are going to be pretty teeny tiny. And I'm excited about it. I'm more excited about this than I've been about COD in a long time, but I do think that, honestly, the longer this beta goes on, the more it actually lowers my hype. But how do you feel about the Battlefield 6 beta, and what are you playing it on? I heard that if you play it on PlayStation 5, it has double XP. Pretty interesting, honestly. I'm currently playing on PC, playing it on Steam, but I love you very much. And if I killed you in some of those lobbies, well, get away from my shotgun, bitch. Love you very much. Thanks for watching this video. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.